If you're an atheist, I'm about to put you in a corner right now because I am going to ask you a very hard question and you will not be able to answer it.
Well, as much as I can't wait to see what that question is about to be, I want to say hi. What's up? Welcome to a new video. I was trying to come up with something fun to do, and you know what? I really enjoyed my last video where I reacted to a bunch of shorts about atheism. I literally went on YouTube and I searched atheist and I went through the different shorts that popped up, and these are just so fun for me because I feel like I'm transporting myself back to my roots, the beginnings of this channel where I would rant about the very basic fundamentals of atheism that I guess in my 10+ years of doing this, I thought were phased out, that people have moved beyond that, but that is very, very much untrue. And I enjoy doing this. This is sort of fun, just going back to the very basics of if you're an atheist, then explain the trees. Checkmate. I'm not kidding. Look at the trees is a very popular religious argument. Or the babies, or whatever it is in nature that you can point to. Look at the cats. But I mean, cats in and of themselves are gods, so that sort of is a checkmate. Anyway, when I searched for atheist, a lot of the videos that came up were new except for this one, Burning in Hell, this Ben Shapiro clip. Seems interesting. Candace Owens already did it. Let's skip it. Next, Challenge to Atheist did it. Oh, this guy on the end here, he's our first one. We started off with him. And if we keep going, more of the same things that I've already reacted to. So I wanted to pick the top 3 that I have not already done, and here we are. Thank you for being here. If you're new, please subscribe. Give this video a like if you can. It really helps a lot in the algorithm. And leave a comment right now. Pause the video, leave a comment, and let me know, what do you think his question is?
A very hard question.
The question that's going to checkmate all of us. The question that if you're an atheist watching this, you're gonna believe in Jesus. What is that question? Let's find out.
I would be a very rich man if I got $1 for every time an atheist said these 3 words to me. Who made God?
Did you guess right? I have a feeling that there is a good chance no one has ever said that to him. Maybe he's seen that argument online a handful of times. So maybe, you know what? Maybe he would have a whole $5 from reading other people's comments online. Because it's just flat out a bad argument. As an atheist, no one should be saying, well, who made God? Because you know what religious people are gonna say. Don't set them up for the answer they already have had prepared for years. Well, the Lord has no beginning or end. He just always was. He always just was. Although, if you propose that as the answer to the universe and the cosmos, well, unacceptable. We've gotta fill in the blank with some answer. God. If I had $1 for every time someone could just answer honestly, 3 words, I don't know, I would have no money. People don't like to admit ignorance. Ever, not ever, we have the answer always, and the answer is Jesus. It's Jesus.
But let me flip that question back on you, Mr. Atheist.
Mr. Atheist, I am appalled. Do not misgender me, sir. Not all atheists are men. Unless, in fact, you are specifically making this video for Mr. Atheist, in which case, I am so sorry.
If you don't believe that God created you, the only other logical conclusion you can draw is that the universe created you. So if you believe that the universe created you, who created the universe?
Boom! Checkmate, atheists. I honestly wonder sometimes when I watch videos like this, is this person for real? Is this guy just making a joke? He's an atheist and he's just making satirical content, making fun of what you would see from Christians? It's just really, really difficult for me because I see somebody like this and they're acting so confident that they just made such a good point. And I'm like, you're joking, right? It's gotta be a joke. Nope, I don't think so. I am not going to get into the details and the specifics of evolution, right? I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna talk about the Big Bang. I actually saw somebody leave a comment on this video talking about the Big Bang, what created that. They talked about energy waves, and of course, you're setting yourself up. There's Christians in the comments. Well, then who created the energy waves? Who made the Big Bang happen? You think you know what an electron is? Well, who made that? Checkmate. Better to not get into the mud with these people because at the end of all of it, it's just easier to answer saying, we've got scientific theories that can provide some explanation to our origins, but, and this is gonna be crazy, we don't know. We don't know everything. We don't have every answer. I know. My mind is blown like the Big Bang. See, answering God as a solution to all of life's questions like this is just something that people do because it makes people feel uncomfortable. It's scary to not know. I wish it weren't. It's not something that makes me that uncomfortable. I like saying, you know what? I don't have the answers. It gives you a purpose to keep searching. It gives the human species a chance to keep evolving, trigger word, learning, developing, creating new things, and advancing technology. And maybe one day we will have more answers. But for now, we don't have them all. Good chance we'll never have them all. And that's okay. What's not okay is to just make shit up to make yourself feel better about the world. And if that works for you, you know what? Then it is okay for you. But don't push it on everybody else. Now, one thing I love doing is I love going through some of the funny comments on these videos. This one almost made me lose my drink. As a former 9-year-old, I understand his frustration. That is so good. And this is just a good point. If you can't answer my question, then my answer is correct by default. And this is the exact point I'm trying to make. Atheists are honest enough to say, we don't know yet. Theists make up an answer, God, because they need to feel comfy and safe. And I get it. I do get that it provides a level of safety and comfort. But for me personally, I don't enjoy just believing in things without evidence. I struggle with that. No judgment to people who are religious. But what you shouldn't do is try to convince people who aren't religious that they should, because, well, then who created the universe? Like you just bested us or something? It's a bad argument. Stop it. Just stop it. Accurate information is something that I do place a high value on, and I'm gonna just take this opportunity to slip really quick into current events. I wanna tell people just to go out and vote. It's a simple message. I want people to go out and vote. I want people to be informed. I want people to get accurate information. Do not fall into the traps of misinformation. Stay informed and go vote. The primaries have all but ended. We're going into November strong, guys. We've got Trump, we've got Biden. It's more than just the president, right? It's about all the things that are at stake here. But we also need to understand the process because there's a lot of disinformation out there. We all remember 2020, the ballot counting, the results, it was a mess. And in my opinion, there's no reason to believe that the lies won't even be bigger and more ridiculous this year. So here's a few things to keep in mind just to protect everyone from disinformation. I don't want anybody vulnerable to that. I also don't want anybody to be so frustrated and overwhelmed that you just tune out entirely. We do have a system in place, right? There are checks, there are balances. And that includes the rules our local election officials and their team of nonpartisan professionals follow when it comes to counting ballots. And anybody can become a poll worker and find out firsthand if you want. Yes, political candidates can challenge election results, but our system requires proof, in following the law. Our election officials are nonpartisan professionals and they are not choosing sides in this election. The people counting our ballots also live and work in this community, and we have to remember that. Their kids go to the same schools as our kids. So let's just go with the proof over accusations and prioritize people over politics. If you want to get informed about the election process, please click the link in my description below. You can go to the site. It has everything by different states. And what's cool is it shows your local voting station and upcoming elections. All right, I'm gonna get off my soapbox and get back into the bad TikToks. And since we're talking politics, I'll start with a Ben Shapiro video because it is.
What is your favorite argument for God's existence and why?
So my favorite argument for God's existence is that I believe...
I have to cut him off right there. I'm so sorry. My favorite argument for God's existence is that I believe, it's over. It's already over before it started. I mean, if you're trying to prove something exists and you begin your argument with I believe, I'm already tuning out. But if you haven't tuned out yet, you will. Your eyes will glaze over with the rest of this. Here we go.
Believe in free will. Okay, the reason that I think this is an argument for God's existence is because if you believe that human beings are essentially just balls of meat wandering around aimlessly in the universe, the kind of Spinoza's stone that thinks that it was moving of its own accord but actually was thrown, if you believe that and you don't believe in free will, then there's an internal coherence and logic to it. If you believe that you have the ability to make independent choices, that you can actually supersede your own biological drives and the environment around you to any extent, even to the smallest extent, this means that you believe in something that can't actually be proved by science, but that you are living every single day. And the notion that you have that will, and not only that you have that will, but that will is capable of comprehending the universe around you, that your will is your ideas, your ability to comprehend the universe is a reflection of a reality, of an objective truth that is out there, that says to me that there is a God, there's a common source that stands behind that objective truth and stands behind the mind that can comprehend that truth.
All right, Ben, facts over feelings, right? Just because we don't understand something doesn't mean the answer is God. I don't know how it works, therefore, God. I was about to say Jesus, but he's Jewish, so. This whole thing, I feel like, could be summed up by the Truman quote, if you can't convince them, confuse them. I wonder if Ben thinks, like, if I say something totally incoherent, but like super, super fast, people won't question what I'm saying, and because I'm talking really fast, I'm gonna sound like I'm really intelligent and smart. No, I really do think that sometimes he talks so fast that people will just nod and agree, like, wow, he must be smart because the speed is just whoosh, right over my head. Ben's second job is reading the disclaimer at the end of radio ads. It's incredible how he can say so many words while simultaneously saying absolutely nothing. Understanding what Ben says is the final test to prove that you've successfully mastered English as a second language. I mean, yeah, that would be hard. I swear this man's defense tactic is to talk really fast and pray nobody breaks down what he says logically. I mean, Ben is literally talking so fast, it's like he's a rapper. Someone made a comment about him like turning into Eminem. But I will say, this is not music to my ears. Absolutely not. This is torture. I'm sorry for sharing it with you. Oh, but really quick side note, since I'm talking about music, it jogged my brain, which I'm surprised is still functioning after having listened to Ben. My husband is going on tour, so if you are in the US or Canada and you want to see him on tour, I'll leave a link to all his information below. He's playing a lot of different places. It's gonna be really fun. And I may be biased because he's my husband, but I believe... Bad joke. My brain is fried. I believe you would enjoy it. It's a really good show. It would mean a lot if you checked it out and supported him. I promise he's better than Ben Shapiro. Oh, this is what I was saying. If you can't convince them, confuse them. Albert Einstein. Okay, I literally just showed a picture showing that it was Truman. I don't know why I'm second guessing myself just because this has 4.6 thousand people that have liked it. I read some of the comments. Stop quoting things I didn't say, Albert Einstein. If you want a quote to sound smarter, just say Albert Einstein said it, Albert Einstein. I'm going crazy. Or is it just an effect of having listened to Ben Shapiro? We'll never know. Moving on.
Okay, so you believe that anybody who's not in the correct religion is going to burn in hell?
So you believe that Earth just created itself, it came out of nowhere, and all these people who are following the religions, 6 billion people around the world, they're just believing in nothing?
What? Dodge that question with another question that makes no sense. Got it.
Burn in hell?
So you believe that Earth just created itself?
So, I mean, she asks a valid question. A lot of people do believe in hell. They believe in that concept. And they believe not only if you're not religious will you go there, but if you're not in the right religion, sometimes like within Christianity, if you're not the right denomination of Christian, you might go to hell. And his response is, oh yeah, well 6 billion people can't be wrong. If everyone believes it, it must be true, which doesn't address her question at all and also sort of proves himself wrong in saying it. She specifically says if people aren't in the correct religion, don't you think they're going to go to hell? And he says, well, 6 billion people can't be wrong. Well, apparently they can be, because all 6 billion people aren't following the same religion. They're not worshiping the same God in the same way. So a lot of those people within that number, 6 billion, think that other people in that number are going to hell because they're not doing it correctly, like she said. So it's bizarre to me that he responds to her, proving her right almost, but he thinks it's like a checkmate move. Watch it again, because it was really fast. I mean, not Ben fast, but it was still fast.
Okay, so you believe that anybody who's not in the correct religion is going to burn in hell?
So you believe that Earth just created itself, it came out of nowhere, and all these people who are following the religions, 6 billion people around the world, they're just believing in nothing?
Ah, they believe in something, but it's all contradictory. Like, I don't understand how that was an acceptable response. You think Earth came out of nowhere? Why is that the assumption? Why is the assumption of religious people, why do they think that people who don't have a belief in God assume that everything just poof came out of nowhere? It's like an unwillingness to accept that some people are okay with not having the answers.
So you believe that Earth just created itself, it came out of nowhere?
So the answer is no. If you ask me, do you just believe that the Earth came out of nowhere? No, I don't actively hold a belief that the Earth went poop and there it was. Nope. I said poop, not poof. The Earth just went poop. No, I don't believe the Earth came out of nowhere. And no, I don't think that people are believing in nothing. I know they believe in something, but that something is not something that I also believe in. Crazy, right? What a dumbass question. I'm sorry, I'm getting angry because like, I see this a lot where someone asks a valid question of a religious person, do you truly think that people who don't believe in a specific way go to hell? Which he doesn't address or answer at all. He goes, okay, well, you're asking me questions that I can't answer because I know the answer is horrible, because if I say, yes, I believe that, I'm gonna sound like a jerk face. So instead of saying that and admitting that to you, I'm just gonna make you look like an idiot in my own mind, even though I totally disprove your point. And I'm gonna say, oh yeah, well, you think the earth came out of nowhere? Bitch, no, I just said no. Checkmate, I am so smart. I'm gonna just completely not answer your question and then spew some bullshit at you that nobody actually thinks. Some of the comments, I like how casually he avoided the question. Very religious way to dodge a question. I like it. This is so accurate. Theists always avoid the question. So many millions of kids believe in Santa. Does that make Santa real? It's possible for 6 billion people to be wrong, yes. If one of those 6 billion people had evidence for a God, I'd be happy to hear it, but so far I haven't heard it. I like ending on that comment because it sums up so much of what I've been saying that, you know, atheism, like I've said in many previous videos, is not a belief system. Just because I don't believe God created the universe doesn't mean that I believe it came out of nowhere. But anyway, I'm tired of religious people who are unable to defend their position on certain things, coming at atheists as though we need to prove something on our end. The burden of proof is on the person making the claim. I'm not making any claims here. I'm just not buying what you're selling. They're trying to take their belief system and prove to people that don't share that they should, or disprove people who are lacking that belief, which you can't do that. It's a belief system. Stop it. Enjoy it for yourself if you must, but stop trying to enter these like intellectual debates of like proving evidence for something that's a belief system. If people truly moved forward with that understanding and that acknowledgement, I think a lot of these videos would just never be made. But here we are. We're in this world of people just not understanding basic things and making terrible arguments. And so long as that exists, which I believe it will forever exist, I'll never be out of a job. I'm gonna be a 95, 100-year-old woman sitting here being like, all right, guys, let's talk about Pascal's wager. And that's just gonna be my life. And I don't mind it. It's sort of entertaining to me. Anyway, thank you so much for being here. Like this video if you haven't already. Check out my short form content on here because I'm gonna be breaking these up and posting them as shorts. Also, we'll be posting them on TikTok, so follow me there if you have not already. Leave a comment below and let me know if there's any bad arguments you'd like me to make a future video on, if there's any short form content you've seen that you want me to do another one of these on. I like doing like top 3s. Thanks so much for being here. Subscribe, and I'll see y'all in the next one. All right, bye.
She hasn't showed me this. She's playing me some weird video.
Well, you love Ben Shapiro.
He is of the tribe.
What is your favorite argument for God's existence and why?
So my favorite argument for God's existence is that I believe in free will. Balls of meat wandering around aimlessly in the universe, the kind of Spinoza's stone that thinks that it means that you believe in something that can't actually be proved by science, but around you, that your will is sort of your ideas, your ability mind that can comprehend that truth.
What is your favorite?
All right, I have really bad ADHD. That definitely hit a nerve somewhere in there with me where I was like, okay, like I have a decent vocabulary. I was tracking for a minute there, and then I struggled with that. That's about all I got. That's all I got. Privatepartytour.com. I promise not to talk like Ben Shapiro at all on stage.